So before Salah, we were mentioning about root learning and just memorization. So yes, memorization does have a part. There are certain things you have to memorize. It's not like there's also philosophy out there completely against any memorization. Why learn any facts when Google is there anyways? That's also an argument. That's flawed. Because when you learn something, how do you learn? You learn from the environment. The environment is the books, the teachers, really. So those instill information to your mind. But for that environmental information to be processed, you have the working memory, like basically the RAM in your memory. Yes? But what the environment, the books, the teachers, the audio, the video, all of these things puts information to you. And your mind processes that. But your mind connects the environmental information. Your mind connects this knowledge with this knowledge. A process. But what is it we call upon? Things you already know. So you have to have certain things in your mind. So for example, if you want to teach Hajj, you will have to be aware of prior terms. Faraz, wajib, tawaf, ziyarah. So you can't say, oh, there's no need to memorize anything at all. I'm not saying, oh, don't memorize, there's no need for any kind of memorization. I'm saying memorization with a purpose. So it's not that, oh, the school, this philosophy that, oh, there's no need to memorize anything too much because you just Google it and you find it. No. Your working memory can only take from the environment when it has previous memory to depend upon. You get what I'm trying to say? So yes, there is room for memorization and there is scope for that. But it shouldn't be just like mindless, that just doing for the sake of doing it. It has to have a purpose behind the things that you're doing. And sometimes what happens is like, I think we become lazy in our teaching. Like somebody was like discussing again, so one of the staff members was saying that when we studied, so we had to write out the words, like so you have an English book or the book in Nahwa, we write it out again in our exercise books. Like, huh? So they were taught, and you write it out again in exercise books, that word for word verbatim from the book. What's the point of that? It's to pass time. Like, if you want to make them write something to practice, give them exercise. It has to be a purpose. Anything you do, isn't that anything is good and bad in itself? So memorizing is not a bad thing, but it has to be a purpose. Why are you memorizing? So I'll go to a bit of like a Darwin thing. It's like, you make them memorize an Urdu book in Nahwa. Well, that's useless. Because you didn't memorize it before exams, or even English. Why are you making them memorize the English book by heart, verbatim, word for word, when they're going to forget it the day after the exams? If they have memory, you make them memorize an Arabic matan, an Arabic text, so they can quote it like that. That's why the Arab scholars and the Mauritanian scholars, if you want to make them memorize the Alfiya ibn Malik. Why memorize an Urdu text? You can forget it. Why make them memorize English text? Why don't memorize the book that I wrote? What's the point? Those words are not. If you want to memorize something, memorize it, but something useful. Make memorization. If you want to make them write something, make them write something that is useful. Not just to pass time or just like, I'll come in class, I don't know what to do, I'm prepared, so just do something. You get what I'm saying? Again, back in the good old days, we never used these methods, but we still learned. You have to remember, we don't discredit the past. It's something very, very clear. I'll give you select sport examples. The whole discussion here, who's the best ever player? Is it Maradona, is it Pele, is it Ronaldo, is it Messi? That's a flawed discussion. I don't think Maradona can get into any football team today because he's just too chubby, too fat. Have you seen the pictures of him? He's playing 1986, he's too big, he's too fat. He would be overweight. But in 1986, when there wasn't sports science, when fitness levels weren't at that level, he was untouchable. So you can't compare him to today. So what we have to say is that in the 60s and 70s, Pele took the game to another level. And after that, Maradona took the game to another level. And today these two have taken another level. But these two, the fitness level, you've seen the bodies they have, the fitness they do, they can run like, it's unmatchable. So what we're saying, so we're not saying, so I don't think they can even make it to, I don't think they can make it to one of the top teams today. Based on purely what, but if they were to have the same ability, and I think today, they train the same way maybe. So what we're saying here is that, in the past, I said like in Barbados, our forefathers came to Barbados. My father, grandfather. They earned money, but they never fell into dunya in like a really bad way. They never got, like, they got married, they looked after themselves. They got makatib, they called Maulanas over from India. Right? So So we have to credit that. Without their foundations, we will not be able to make anything else on top of that. But everything they done wasn't correct. They had limited knowledge. You get what I'm trying to say? We have to move on from that. So what we're saying here, you don't use this as a beating stick to say, oh, my teachers didn't even know this, or they didn't even do this. It's like, maybe they never had teacher training. They never had this exposure. They never had this. So they use what maybe they were sincere. They done things wrong and they were sincere. But that's not how it's done. It's not the best way to do it. But, so you don't have to discredit what they have done. You don't have to follow blindly what they have done. Appreciate what they have done in a perspective, in its framework and a framework. And also move on and say, well, they've done a lot. I don't know who founded this masjid. Maybe they, but those who founded this masjid, when we first came in, I don't know who they are. But they may not have done the effort they put in. Now we've got a foundation to build upon. So that's why don't follow blindly because somebody has done something before, and not doing what they have done or criticizing in a respectful way what they've done is not disrespectful. It's just saying, well, they've done things like this, it can be done better. You get what I'm saying? So get a big balance here. So our just didn't use it, so we don't go, oh no, they were jahil and they didn't know what they were doing, and they tried their best, sincerity and whatever they could have done, and that's what they could have done. They didn't know any better. And they've done a good job for its time. It served the purpose for its time. And now you move on. Okay? Okay, again, same thing here. Okay? And remember, very thing important is that as teachers, so for your past and your students' future, study this picture very, very carefully. You see it carefully? You see it properly? It's not clear, is it? Because it's quite dark. So you can, basically, it's very dark. It's a child getting, this is a child here on a chair. His dad is beating him. Yeah? So you can try it a little. Is it clear now? Yeah. So what's happening here? This is what happens in life. This child is being beaten by his dad. He grows up an angry teenager, whole life full of anger. When he gets his chance, he does the same thing. It's true. Those people, you would think that if a child sees his mother being beaten by his father, he would despite that whole thing, but they are more likely to be involved in domestic abuse. It's a research. Those who have experienced domestic abuse, they are more likely to abuse. It's a way learned behavior is. So things that you have seen and you have been through, you are very likely to repeat them subconsciously because it's learned behavior. You have to make a very, very conscious effort to come out of that circle. And at the same time, man sanna sunnatan sayyi'atan. If you do something wrong in your ways, this now knowledge, or having the ability to acquire knowledge on how to do things, and then you do it wrong, your students will learn from you. And again, what's the saying? Actions speak louder than the words. They scream. No matter what you say, this is what you do. Okay. And again, now I mentioned certain points. I said to you before, I can only teach you usul, principles. You have to use your common sense, your imagination, your creativity, your own zeal and desire to set your own standards. So I've got two people. Who is this guy? A waiter. What does he do? What's his job? Serve. Yeah. It's not a trick question. I promise. Serve food. Yeah. How is he judged by? What's success judged by? Appearance. What?
The way he serves.
The way he serves. What? That's it. So he has food. His only job is to serve the food in a good way. Put it on a plate. And what does he do after that? Put it on the table, and then he goes away. Who's that? Mother. What does she do with the food? What does she do? She feeds the child. When is she finished feeding the child? How does she finish her job? When is it finished? When the child is eaten. That can't be a teacher. Don't come in class and serve food and go away. That's what you need to do. You have to prepare the food, and you have to make sure, despite the tantrums, despite the misbehavior, despite the spillages, that somehow or the other, that food gets into the system. This will look really nice, and you probably get paid more. But the true way of success in teaching is the mother module. The mother model. Not the waiter model. So everything, if you just Put this in mind. I want to be a mother, not a waiter. That's how you teach. Yeah? Any questions? No? So when we had a teacher, you as a teacher, you're disciplined. Lead by example. Domino effect. What you do has an effect. One of the main things is, again, I said I'm giving you rules of thumb, I'm giving you guidelines. You can't apply everything just verbatim. You have to use a common sense. I might say something here. For example, somebody goes to work, he comes back from work at 4 o'clock, 4:30, he gets 1 or 2 minutes late, 5 minutes late. But I'm not saying generally, this is general rules. Generally speaking, come on time. If you come on time, it shows the most. You're showing the students that I care about you, I care about the class, it's important to me. That's why I'm here on time. Okay? Start a class on time. We all hypocrites in certain aspects, but we can't mark a register for kids for coming late, or then tell them for coming late. When we come late ourselves, without any reason, like, I'll work on it, I'm saying generally speaking. Or then we come in class and we talk. And the kids have to sit in class whilst we finish our conversation. So if we want them to start at 5 o'clock or 4:45 or whatever time, we have to set example as teachers. Students notice these things. Finish on time. Now, finish on time, sometimes again, we just stuck in our own minds. I can simple story. There's this lady, so her son is in his class, long time ago. Her son is in his class. His class teacher decides to do what? Give detention. The mother drives to Memorisation. Pick up the kid. What does the Mali Sahib say? It's got detention. Until when? Don't know. What's this? Everything's not takabbur, what is this? It's not arrogance, what is this? It's inconsiderate. And then what we're going to do now, we're going to switch it. And if that mother gets angry, the mother, she may have children at home, she may have a mother-in-law at home, a mother at home, she may have food on the stove, she may have a husband coming home from work. But no. And if she makes a fuss, what happens now? You've got no respect for knowledge. Is that fair? And everything you have to look at other people. Like, there's another place, there's football. So, see, again, we're looking at very narrow-minded. What their shoes? I know you're taking out time, you're putting in unpaid time for detention. But look at their side of the story. Understand other people. Be sympathetic to them. Some example, you have games club, you have football. So there's football going on. The teachers have taken out the time to come and supervise the children. I'm not. But you can't say you can finish at 12:45 or 1 o'clock and then go 15 minutes later. You can't do that. Why? You don't know why that person, they may have gone shopping, they may have a grandmother at home, food on the stove, they may have to go from there straight to somewhere, they have a kid in the car crying. We don't know what people are going through. If you told them, medicine finishes at, I'm shooting myself in the foot here, but I can't go overtime now, can I? I have to finish on time at 7:45, so I'm shooting myself in the foot. But it's a fact. You don't know somebody has come. So I'm free, I've come here, I've got nothing to do, I'm here till 10 o'clock, I train at 10 o'clock. So because I'm free, doesn't mean that you all are free. You get what I'm saying? You may have someone say, okay, I got to get home, I've got to pick my daughter from another medicine. Who knows what people's scenarios? So yes, knowledge is important, but it's this principle again, we can't be arrogant and say, oh, this is knowledge and you don't have respect for knowledge and you can't. That's not true. Teachers, you should have free time. People got homework. You get what I'm saying? So 2 minutes free might make a difference. But it's like, you don't know what's happening. You can't even cancel someone last minute or say it's finished early today. Well, who's going to pick the kids up? If you made a commitment, you have to hold these things. So sometimes we want to hold people at standard we don't hold ourselves to. We have registers and we have star charts, we have all of that. But if we don't lead by example, and then people criticize Maulanas and our dini circles, but it's our fault. Our fault. Once when my brother got married, so we went to picnic. So obviously my chachi and all of those were there. So my chachi, my uncle's wife, she said to my brother, "Did you kill the chicken in the first night?" I got shocked. Oh, what's this? This is some kind of perverted Indian joke or something. And I was a little kid that time, so I was like scared. And then it's like, so it's an Indian proverb, or like I think, so they were like, we don't know what we're talking about. She's from India. So she goes, there's two men, right? Two men. So they're complaining about, they have no control over their wives. One man says, "Oh, my wife, I can't control her this." And this is a story. I'm not promoting this in this thing. So the other guy says, whatever I say, she never listens to me. Old school. And the guy goes, you know what you need to do? When I got married the first night, I went in the room, I got a chicken from the garden, got a knife, slaughtered it in front of her face and threw it on the floor and goes, go clean it up. She got scared. This obviously, don't do this, this is ridiculous. But this is story, this is the moral story. So the other guy goes, this is a good idea. So the other guy goes home to his wife, he goes home, gets the chicken, he gets it, he cuts it, he throws it on the floor and goes, clean that up. She looks at him, grabs her neck, slaps him, goes, you clean it up yourself. What are you on about? So you can only kill a chicken on the first day. But don't do that, you can only kill a chicken on the first day. So your students, you have to set standards, especially new teachers. In new teachers, what usually happens, you have two extremes. You get those who want to be the super strict teacher, absolute dictators and have absolute authority over the class. And you get those who are too cool. So we're so cool, then the whole class is in school. So you get that. New teachers usually have that problem. So once you the first night is gone, you can't kill the chicken anymore. You can't be messing around for 3 weeks and realize, I'm not getting anywhere. Then be strict. They're not going to laugh at you. You get what I'm trying to say? So you're going to make sure that from day one you have a discipline and keep a standard. If that first year goes, you'll do it next year to get a new batch of students, then you can control them a bit. But then your whole year will have a headache. So kill the chicken the first night, metaphorically. Don't do that thing. That's proper nonsense. But you get it. They challenge you. The children generally challenge your ability and how you can control them. You don't want to be a dictator. You don't want to be lawless. If you're too lenient, there will be no learning. If you're too strict, what's going to happen? You're just going to be not interested in your class. You have to balance it. And you yourself, you have to be disciplined. Make sure you teach what is being topic, stick to the syllabus, do things. Do want to be loved? Some of them have this, too strict. Some of them have this, I want to be the cool myself. I want to have the, I can talk to them about anything and talk in street language or talk to them about what's going on about football or going on about boxing or whatever. And what happens, you don't really get much learning then. You just end up being a clown. So you have to balance it. And again, you need hikmah, you need wisdom, you need experience to be able to control this. Okay? And again, respect. You want respect, you can't buy it. What's this? Is it? What is it? Metal replica. To buy one, is that many value? Does it worth any money after I buy it? Can you say I won an Olympic gold medal? It's a gold medal, isn't it? For some people, when they win the medal, what do? Just take it up and throw it in the stands. Because why? If you earn that trophy, it doesn't matter if you have the trophy. If you won the league, you won the cup, you don't need the medal, do you? Throw it away. I won it. And if the guy goes and gets it, the losing team puts it on his neck. Forget it, make it become a meme on social media. You get what I'm saying? So in class, you can't buy respect of your students. You can't demand it. You can't make them respect you. You have to earn it. You can't demand it. And the thing is, if you teach properly, automatically your students will love you. They have affection for you. They will automatically. Okay. And I'm going to go a bit controversial person, a bit of a slippery slope again. Sometimes when we graduate, when we madrasa, when we have this thing, we kind of have this feeling that when I graduate, I'm going to have this super. Sometimes maybe I don't know. I think it's a false promise. What do you think? When you graduate, you're going to have respect, you're going to have honor, you're going to have the world at your feet, and Allah will provide for you from the unseen, and all of it. I just don't think it's unrealistic. You're setting your standards. You just setting them up to fail. If you feed them false stories, it doesn't work. Your knowledge that you have is intrinsic. It's inside of you. But it has no value in the majority of the world. It's the most valuable thing you can ever achieve. But people don't know about it. People can't see. So they don't have respect of honor. You get what I'm trying to say? Don't expect this. That all of a sudden, as soon as you graduate, as soon as you become a teacher, this doesn't happen. We're in the real world. So if you were a student last year, and in Shaban you were a student, you graduated, you come in Shawwal, nobody really cares. No, the world doesn't really care about that. Your value is intrinsic to you. So don't expect you're going to get hadaya, you're going to get gifts, or people are going to call you, you're going to get dawahs. What I can promise you, a real promise is, if you graduate, or you start teaching, and for decades, you work selflessly, tirelessly, and dedication, then perhaps, maybe, you will get all of these things. And I'll provide for you, but then, You're not realistic. The world works with asbab. Money doesn't fall from the sky. You have to live. You have things to do. You got to be realistic. So you always remember that. Plan. Don't be naive. You get what I'm saying? So it is. And at the end of the day, if you don't get any of this, that's not success. It doesn't matter. If you're, let me give you an example. You got Hafiz, right? He teaches, let's say for example, 2-3 students a year become Hafiz by him. For 20 years. He made 60 people Hafiz the Quran. Nobody even knows this isn't a Quran machine teaches and forget people say he's mu'azzaz in Allah. But if you have this that I will get respect now because don't go buying eBay respect. Earn it. And don't even go for that. Just work for Allah's sake. This is the future. If I save one child from drugs, if I save one child from if I save one child from pornography, if I save one child from atheism, that's alright. I don't need people to respect me. I do my stuff myself. I don't want gifts, I don't want hadaya, I don't want honor, I don't want respect, I don't want people. I just want to be normal. And also, when you die, you want to say, he was a good guy. That's enough. You want all these, he was a good person. That's all you want. Gotta make sure I don't finish your time. But you're going to say this is hypocrisy. Okay? This is a general principle. When you're Madaris has everything we do has a dini aspect to it. And there's lots of things you can do in life. But there's only 24 hours in a day. Prioritize. What's more important? You get what I'm saying? So many things you can do. You have to prioritize. You have to look after yourself, your health. If you have health, you have sleep, you can do lots of stuff. Prioritize, learn to manage time. I'm not saying that social media is good or it's bad. It's part of our lives. But make sure it's balanced. And make sure it's productive. Let me give you something. There's one person, he's got things called productive work, something like that. So he says the simple way to find out if you're of any use on social media is stop posting for a month. If anybody misses you or says, why don't you post anymore, that means that you're doing something useful. But 99% of the time, nobody even know you post or you didn't post. That means that you just feel good at posting something. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, you got Mashti, you're posting, we've got a program coming up, we've got a conference coming up, we've got classes, but that's fine. You're a business. You're advertising your product. I'm not. Social media is here to stay. But I'm saying that use it productively. Is it worth you doing it? Is it better for you to spend 10 minutes posting something to nobody who listens to you, or is it more worthwhile posting, sitting down with the students after class or whoever wants to stay or whatever, and talking with them, creating a friendship with them, not a friend on Facebook, but a real friend. So I'm not for it or against it. I'm just saying is that make sure you use it productively. Don't something that's feeling good. You have that thing, feel good. We're doing lots of stuff, but is it productive? Is it worthwhile? Am I making the best of my time? Not fragment your time. Be productive. Because it's hard in the maktab. Make sure you have to rest, because kids eat your head in. It's the truth. So if you come here, you're tired. You take out your anger at them. When you go home, you've got to be able to relax. Because it's just too much stress builds up. And we think that we're productive, we're doing kebabs, we don't realize it. But when you're stressed or when you're tired, you're fatigued, you go the next day. So if you relax a bit, next morning you start at 100% again. Your body, your mental capacity 100%. If you work your whole day, even you don't get any relax, what happens? Next morning you woke up and you think I had a rest, but you only working at 90% now. And it continues over a long period of time. You end up working at 50% every morning. So as teachers, it's a very stressful job. It can be stressful. So make sure you look after yourself, have good rest, prioritize what you're going to do. I'm not going to go through this. Okay, there's one important aspect here. Is CPD. CPD. What does that mean? Continued professional development. What does that mean? When you graduate, when you finish, don't think you know everything. Basic, simple language. If you study fiqh, don't you study fiqh in our rooms, or you study fiqh in Madrasa? What happens after that? What do you do to specialize in fiqh? You do iftar. If you do hadith, you do tafsir, what happens? You have what? You have takhassus. So you won't, you also, I'll graduate from Madrasa. I can give fatwa. Who are you to tell me I can't give fatwa? I've studied. But when it comes to teaching, who are you telling me? I've studied. What have you done? What learning have you done? What makes you think that because you graduated you can teach? Well, because you graduated, what makes you think you can become a marriage counselor? You have to realize that when you graduate, you're very raw. There's lots of things to learn in life. So people assume this, that because you're a Moisa, I got a problem with my wife, I got a problem with my husband, but I don't know marriage counseling. I can put a gardan for you. I can tell you masala for you, nikah's counted or not counted, but other yes, if there's a Moisa, he's an Imam, and he does marriage counseling, fine. I'm not saying not knowing, what I'm saying is that don't assume you know everything. You don't assume you can do marriage counseling or drug rehab, or you can do, you can teach, or you can do everything, but you make sure you learn that science. You've learned a lot. There's a lot more to learn. You have to continually develop over time. And this is something new. What the Prophet saying sometimes? لو استقبلت من أمري ما استدبرت لكذا وكذا. If I knew now what I knew before, I wouldn't have done this. So even he's saying that time goes on, I could have done it differently. I could have worn my ihram differently, different time, this. So everybody learns and develops. You have to accept that. And that's called jahl murakkab or jahl basit. If you're willing to accept that I need to develop personally, then you will develop. And if you're going to be stuck up and arrogant, then you'll be that part of your life. You won't improve. Okay? Yeah, broaden your horizons. Broaden your horizons. I got it in one of my Arabic texts that we teach, but I can't find it. Basically, it says, one of the Nuhat, I can't remember, Asma'i, one of those guys. He says that you will never become aware of the mistakes of your teacher until you study by somebody else. If you keep on studying the same thing, you just think, this is it, this is the word, this is it. When you study from somebody else, you realize, oh right, this is how it is. So sometimes, like what happens, we study in the Hanafi Mazhab Madrasa, with Hanafi teachers, explain the hadith from a Hanafi perspective, then we gradually think, this is it. But if we don't go and say, well, the Salafi and the Ghayr Muqallid perspective. So you will say, okay, I don't agree with you, but I understand where you come from. I understand what's happening. When you understand this is somebody else, you're like, all right, these people do something differently, I get it. Because we think everything is right, the Hanafi Mazhab is right, everything. What we do is right, everything, our methodology. But you see other people, you broaden your horizon, you realize, okay, there's different ways of looking at it. You don't have to change your way, I'm not saying to change your way. And these things, and learn to understand and appreciate others. And that's when you become more tolerant, become more embracing. So even in anything, in your teaching, in your fiqh, in your studies, in your personal development, if you keep picking from the same apple tree, you will have apples eventually, and you become the same thing. See other things and appreciate. That's the problem nowadays with social media. With the algorithms, what happens? I can give you a story. I got a video, I got a recommendation from YouTube to watch a cricket match of Crawley versus three trees or three something. I was like, why did you recommend this to me for? What's a local cricket match in Crawley versus another, I think something got to do with me? So what happened was, I just realized that I was Googling trains a lot. Trains to Crawley, trains to Gatwick, because obviously I went to Gatwick Airport. That's where Barbados flights goes. And also I went there for a program. So Google picked up this guy's going Crawley. I like cricket videos I've watched. They put two together and it was telling me, watch this match. Recommendation. So when you're social media, it's called a confirmation bias. So when what you want is what you find what you always want. So if you want to find something that to right wing, you find one right wing video, YouTube recommend another one for you, and you keep on watching the same thing. You're left wing, you always get the same. If you're in a self-oriented place, everything will seem to self-oriented, everything will seem correct. If you were the tablighi oriented place, then you become that. Everything revolves around tabligh for you. If you're in a teaching environment, anything apart from teaching is useless. If you're in charity work, you think, oh, you don't care about the ummah, people are dying and you're not doing anything. So charity work is the only thing that's worthwhile. You become in that confirmation bias. So you have to open your horizon, broaden your horizon in every aspect. For your personal self, for your teaching, for your knowledge. Okay? We have problems. No, it's not that, it's my batteries.
Oh, your batteries.
There's a story with Imam Ghazali, I'm not sure how true it is, but it's a story of one of them. So he was traveling on his return. So he's returned from a journey and some some robbers robbed him. So he went to them, hired robbers, he said to them, and I've studied so much. And my note, you've stolen my note, it has no value for you. Please give it back to me. You see, all my years of effort, I have collected my notes. So the robber laughed at him and said, if you've lost your knowledge with your notes, you haven't learned anything. So I've lost my PowerPoint with my battery. So I don't really have anything. You have the, and another, I mean, I needed a video for this. There's actually a clip here. The clip is, there's a clip, a video clip. If you get a chance and you know Arabic properly, just Google or YouTube, Munaqashatu Shaykh Shuraim. It's a whole hour long discussion. So basically, he wrote a PhD on the fiqh of Hajj. So when you're at PhD, then obviously it's munaqasha. The mushrif and the supervisors, then they kind of take it apart and analyze it. So there's a few interesting parts in there, very, very interesting. So one of them, so it just shows you how you need to think out of the box, how you need to be critical and prepare for things. So in there, Shaykh Shuraim, the hadith says, so he says, Fatima al-Zahra, radiyallahu anha. The mushrif pulled him up and said, why do you write Zahra for? So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Where do you get Zahra from? Where does it come from? Why does no other Sahabiya have a title? Where do you get it from? Is it Nabawi? Is it non-Nabawi? Is it Shi'i? Is it Sunni? Where did it come from? Where's the source of it? So if you don't think, you never get the answer. There's another one, it's Arabic origin. He said, the matan that he's doing the tahqiq on, the author, the original author wrote that it is sunnah to perform umrah after Hajj, based on the hadith tabi'u bayna Hajj wal umrati. Correct? But that's not the Jumhur's opinion. That's his opinion. But Shaykh Shuraim, he wrote on that one that wal hadithu la yahtamiluhu. Wal hadithu la yahtamiluhu. So he put him again saying, he goes, هو ليس المراد من الحديث. The hadith does not mean that you do umrah after Hajj. Hadith means you continuously do umrah and Hajj, and that's what the scholars have agreed upon. But your wording says لا يحتمل الحديث, but in theory it could possibly mean that. So you said لا يحتمله, you said, and it's not like, it's ليس هو المراد. So when you start thinking, and the point of thinking critically is not to, again, and I said, if we ourselves don't think critically, or we don't teach critical thinking, when it does critique comes, we don't know how to happen. We don't have the sponge. The same thing I'm talking about sponge. We're able to think and able to find the answers. And if we don't teach our children critical thinking respectfully, they're going to learn it very disrespectfully. We learn what we can critique, what we can't critique. So if we learn to teach our children, we're not dumb people. We critique and we analyze. But there's a limit. We can only critique and analyze up to Allah and His Rasul. So then we know, okay, this is a boundary. And how does you think? What do you have that principle? تعبد المعقول. تعبد المعقول. So we said هذا أمر تعبدنا به. This is something which is ta'abbudi. Why is it 4 rakats of salah? We don't know, and we accept this, and it's something we don't discuss. And there's something that says ma'qul. It's something we can analyze why. And if we learn this ourselves, and we teach our students in the right framework, because we're not growing up in a small villages anymore. I had a Google image of my village where my dad grew up. So basically, it's like a L shape. And the whole thing is 400 meters. That's it, that's my dad's village. So if my grandfather battered my dad, if my dad got battered by his money's house, what's he going to do? Cry and then go back home and start again fresh tomorrow morning? What's he going to do? We live in London, we live in Leicester, we live in the UK. If children are exposed to everything, there's a hadith of Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, or not hadith, but athar. Somebody said to him that this person is so pious, huwa la ya'rifu al-fitnata. He's so pious, he doesn't know fitna. So that's what said regarding him, huwa ahra an yaqa'a fiha. He doesn't know fitna, so he's more likely to fall into it. So exposure within a framework. So they're going to learn critical, they're going to learn to critique everything in schools and universities. We teach them that so that their education is expands and they know the limits and boundaries of how it works. Next about the student. When you think of a student, don't you think of a student as a little annoying little boy who's going to just, think of student in the bigger picture. Tomorrow, we were little kids in it one day. The drug dealers outside were kids one day as well, isn't it? Our friends who we know, some of the drug dealers, some involving, they were kids. Don't treat them as kids. Meaning, treat them as kids in turn, but don't think of them as kids, think them of, football clubs have more sense than some of our makatib. They invest in their kids because this is money for us, this is our future first team player. And we look at these kids are just like, I don't know what, cash cows? Run through a maktaba, we get money and that. They're going to be the imams, they're going to be the leaders. And na'udhu billahi min that, na'udhu billahi min that. The truth is, some of them have become drug dealers, some of them will become zina, and some of them become murtad. We can't save everyone. We can try our best. So when everything you do now, it's going to have an effect on them. It's going to have an effect on them later in life. You don't want to give them a bad impression of madrasa. We don't want to give them a bad impression of ulama. We don't want to give them a bad impression of things. You get what I'm trying to say? Everybody has shahawat and desires. So some of them teenagers, they might end up with a girlfriend and in drugs and this. But if they have a good experience from madrasa, what will happen? So many of you may have known as well. They go around the whole masti, a whole chakkar, and then they come back. Why? They're getting married. I was bad, yeah, but I don't want my kid to be bad. Or after they did everything, they say, this is a bunch of nonsense. They come back. But if they don't have a connection, where are they going to go? Nowhere. If they have a connection, and sometimes it's so silly. Like, when you're 13, 14, right? Look at this. Listen, when you're 13, 14, the whole life, where's the deen connected to? Where's the deen connection? When they get 13, 14, and we know they're giving problems, and we don't address issues properly, what happens? That deen connection that they had, the only deen connection, why is it? Cut off. I know you have problematic teenagers, but deal with them in a good way. Maybe deal with them better. Maybe say with them, what? We can't handle him. It's too much for us. He's got too much energy. Let him go. Like, I think, value pros and cons. You got a kid, right? His mom, dad not into deen. He's not learning Qul Ya al-Kafiru. He's not learning the Kafiru. Just skip those for him. There's no point embarrassing him, punishing him for those surah. He's not going to read in namaz anyway, I know that. If he prays namaz is good. So at least you can kind of say, what's the benefit of making him learn it? And what's the harms of punishing him for not learning it? You can kind of say, balance it up. 14, 15, what's going to happen? You get what I'm trying to say? So the modern student is a different beast altogether from our fathers and our forefathers. This thing, the New York Times said, right? That 17th century, so 1600 to 1700, right? In that time, the amount of information a normal average person would come across, match that up to the amount of information in one weekly New York Times. 5%. The amount of information in one New York Times weekly is equal to how much of the information a child in 17th century would come across. So one newspaper today, how much information it has compared to the amount of information and access they would have to in the 17th century. Same. On average, the amount of information and text a child will come across, or a person will come across his whole lifetime. Your whole life, what a child in the 17th century, not Victoria, probably, in wherever, who was then, Britain. One newspaper has the same amount of information. So the modern beast is different. The modern student is a different beast altogether. What they have access to, what they don't have access to, you have to tackle it. The way we were taught, the way we were dealt with, it's not going to work. You have to look at it different. It's different altogether. You get what I'm trying to say? So this is our future. That's what motto in it. What does it say? What's the motto on the back one? Yeah, correct. Youth of today. You're the principal, and he's more embodied in your philosophy than you are. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's very important. It's a bit controversial. I'm going to stop on this one. Tarbiya. What is Tarbiya? What is Tarbiya? It's very important. What is it? How do we define it? Somebody asks you, is the Tarbiya in your madrasa or not? How do we define Tarbiya? How do you define this? Sometimes we become CV oriented. What does that mean? That we get 2-3 students who are really excellent, and we say, okay, ye bachcha actually 2 saal mein hifz khatam kar liya. So on our CV you got a hifz class student in 2 years. We get a few good CVs. Is that Tarbiya? We get here and coming here, okay, much deep. I was talking to one night Leicester, we were talking about this, and he said about a certain school, because it's so good Tarbiya there. I said, how do you know got the Tarbiya? He goes, I went to the Jalsa and everyone was sitting in a line and it's really quiet and everything. So they come in here and they got a massive line and all the kids are quiet. I say, mashallah, and upstairs one of the is WWE upstairs when they don't behave well. Is that Tarbiya? Or is it they're messing on a little bit but they want to be. They're not fearful. They're not scared. They're not overawed. Or they're like, oh no, we're gonna have to. You get what I'm saying? This is a theoretical question I will kind of leave you with. Is that, let's say last year of Madrasa. Last year of Madrasa. What age did you finish at? 16? Yeah. So you know this is straight coming back. So what would we this theoretic, I'm not condoning it, I'm not saying do this, it's a question. The students come up to you and say, Assalamu alaikum, and I'm going, and they shake your hand and they go. Would we want that? Or all the teachers know there's a last day and we have such a good relationship with our students, friendly, they like us, we are accessible, and the teachers know, no, I'm in trouble. After Madrasa, I'm going to get water balloon. This theoretically. What would he be most successful? I don't know. I don't know the answer. It's a question. If you do it because you have no respect for them, but if they have such a strong bond with you, if they get caught in pornography, they get caught in zina, they get caught in drugs, if they have the confidence to come and water balloon you, they can come and ask you a question myself. I need some help here. But if they're so fearful, they do salam and that's it. Madrasa finished, never ever. So they respected you when they left. When they went out, they started screaming, yes! Done, Madrasa finished. Is it CV Madrasa? What are we going to say? MashaAllah, our students living here in the Madrasa is very quiet, very civilized. I know this is philosophy, it's a theoretical question. You think about yourself and maybe it can maybe provoke some thought inside of all of us. This is the thing. How do we judge Tarbiya? Do we judge Tarbiya on certain what we call it, stereotypes? Or is it an idea, a mental state? Is it something in their minds, in their hearts? I don't know. I don't got Tarbiya myself, I don't know. So that's why I'm asking you the question, but something to think about. What do we want to achieve from that? So I'm not going to go over time because I did a whole long run on time. So we'll stop there, inshallah. There's anything else left? There's a lot more stuff left, but I think, as I said to you, you can't go through every single thing. It's a matter of thoughts, a matter of principles, a matter of ideas. And then once you get the idea in your mind, you can expand more. You can probably critique what I've said, saying, well, this doesn't make sense, this is wrong, you said this, but it's just once you get the ideas in your mind, you get the thing. Everything can't be taught. There's a few basic principles. If you look at it, and I think all boils down to empathy and love. If you have empathy, you can put yourself in their shoes, understand where they're coming from, and you do it sincerity and love for the students, you become a good teacher. And if you just, a willingness to learn. A willingness to learn. Ability, you're going to teacher, and trainability. If you're able and you're trainable, you can go very far. If you're able but you're just not willing to learn or not willing to accept it, then it's difficult to progress. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. May Allah forgive all the kind of things that I said, maybe were incorrect or wrong or a bit out of my league. I shouldn't have said that, I'm too big for my boots. Allah forgive me, whether being arrogant or greater than the dawah approach, may Allah forgive me, and Allah give us all guidance. And may Allah, the children we are teaching, may Allah safeguard them all and make them the future of our ummah. Wa akhiru da'wana billahi rabbil alameen. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jazakallah for inviting me. If you have any positive criticism, not positive, constructive criticism, positive, negative, crazy, constructive criticism for the future. Other than me talking a bit fast sometimes, I might accent. I know that's an issue, but apart from that, then please let me know. It'll help me improve in the future as well. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.